G'day guys, it's Dan from Onya here. We are jumping in today to train with Ross Park at Fly. He has got 25 plus years experience in the industry. He's a bit of a unit. He's an absolute unit. We're gonna do some training, we're gonna chat about the industry, and yeah, you're gonna come along, be a bit of a fly on the wall, no pun intended. The gym's just called Fly. All right, let's go. Right, so we're here at Fly. We are training with Big Roscoe. Welcome, mate.
Wee Roscoe.
Oh, I don't know, mate. Big Roscoe.
Fat Roscoe.
No, come on, mate. Let's make sure that we don't get any shots with shirts off, any comparisons, please, make sure. But we're going to train today. If you could just show us around the space and show us what you do here at Fly.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. So, as we can see, this is our strength area. Products based around strength and conditioning, traditional strength and conditioning format, and that's how we split up the programming. So we've got our core product, which are strength classes, 10 bays, 20 or 30 people in here, and we've got a 9-week structured strength program. If you want to follow me, I'll show you the rest of the gym. Through here is where the rest of our conditioning classes take place. Got a nice 30-metre sled area.
Plenty of space.
Turf area that we do a strongman circuit in here, which again, it's just a nice balance to the programming. We've got an erg class. So it's all just about providing our guys with a balanced, structured strength and conditioning group fitness program.
What sort of sessions do you do out here? Because there's heaps
So,
of space.
tons of space, 30 metres, all turfed. We've got a Hyrox product that we do, it's a specific Hyrox. We call it Fly Rocks.
I like that.
That's in the timetable a few times. Again, our strength stuff makes up the bulk of the program, and then this stuff supplements it and complements the rest of the program.
Do you find most people that train do dabble in both, or do you find some will just do conditioning, just do strength? Obviously, everyone gets their favourite classes, but do you find that people make the most of it?
Yeah, I think the programming evolved exactly for that. We changed the structure of the strength class to provide full body sessions. I know with my own training, I've been doing a lot of triathlon and trying to get the strength sessions in where you need that sort of minimum stimulus. The full body sessions allow you to do a couple. You know, you get your full body push, full body pull, and a lot of people will do that, and then they'll do, if they're training for Hyrox, they'll be in here doing their conditioning stuff, if they've got marathons or whatever it may be. The guys that are doing, I mean, the strength stuff's still the main product, and that's still the most common split is for people to do 4 of them. But it's nice for the guys to have the option to do the extra conditioning stuff if needed.
Absolutely. And for you, from a business point of view, it's good because you can have multiple classes around it.
Well, it's the way I always wanted the facility, to rather than shoehorning the product into one space, you've got the option to develop the programming into the 2 spaces and provide a much more rounded and balanced setup for... Again, our program's all about using a strength and conditioning format so people can train for whatever they want, whether it's aesthetics, events, or just general physical preparedness. So it allows us to do that. We're going to go do our core product. It's a strength session, and we're into our 3rd week of a 9-week cycle, and it's all about performance. The adaptation we're looking for is power. So speed, strength, and we use contrast training for that. Raising the heart rate, activating mobilisation, so we do that on a timed basis. So we'll do some nice light body weight stuff to get the heart rate up for 2.5 minutes. We'll then go into some activation, some glute walks with the band, some hip 90s, just opening that position up. We'll then move into the potentiation phase where we start getting the body fired up. Oh,
What's this?
it's a present.
Did you bake that? That looks bloody good.
Oh,
banana
mate.
I reckon.
That's from Daniel's good lady.
Jesus, what's these bloody going to the moon or something? What's going on?
We're getting vacuum packed.
Oh. Right, we'll save that.
Just
in case there's an emergency, we'll
Aye.
break glass.
We might
in case
need it
of
halfway.
emergency. Yeah, we might need that halfway, right? But yeah, obviously Roscoe, 25 years experience in the industry. You don't look a day over.
Jesus, man.
Makes you feel old, doesn't it?
Sounds a bit.
How'd you start? How'd you get into it? Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that would love to have what you've got right now, like a busy, thriving gym that's full of people and you're full of life and you enjoy what you do. And it's like, how'd you get into it? people want to get to where you are, kind of run us through kind of the roadmap of how you started, the stepping stones to get you here.
Yeah, man, I mean, I guess, I think you touched on it there, is enjoyment, and that was when I started in the industry. I immediately enjoyed it. I was at college, which I didn't love so much. I was never brilliant at studying. And I thought to get myself into the fitness industry is something I enjoyed. Growing up, playing a lot of sports, and as soon as I got into a gym environment and started training people, I knew I loved it, I knew I enjoyed it. And it's a dead sort of cliche, cheesy thing to say, but I enjoyed working with people and seeing them progress, and and the programming was something that I've always loved. Coming up with different programs for different demographics, and that took me into a fairly successful PT career for 15 years, and built that, and I was happy doing that, to be honest. I enjoyed it. You make decent money, as people, and if you're in that position, know it's a nice lifestyle, albeit, again, if you love what you're doing, because it is massively about that. I think a lot of young PTs get into it potentially for the wrong reasons. They think they can cut about in the sort of training gear and train athletes and everything, but it's a very different industry to that. And working with people who are just trying to get better every day is the general way you go into it. But so did that for many years, and then started in the group fitness side of things. I just always had a desire to get my own place. Started the group fitness stuff in a warehouse in Glasgow, spitting sawdust, nothing there, as most people do, and developed the product from there. That actually we still do through the back, funnily enough. It was the first thing we started with, and it's still as popular as it was 12 years ago when we started, 10, 11 years ago when we started. So, mate, that was the journey.
That was a proper warm-up, so that's
ready to go.
That's ready to go. Like prime, that's ready to rock and roll.
Wait, get that set up.
So what have you noticed have been a few industry trends? Being someone that's been in the industry for so long, what sort of trends have you seen? Because I feel like the UK, obviously being Australian, I've got a bit of a different perspective on the Australian market, UK market. What do you think is unique about the UK market? Because I think there's a bit of almost like a bit of a fitness renaissance in the UK. Like so many more people are training than ever before.
Mate, I don't think I've ever, certainly in my time in the fitness industry, I don't think it's ever been as, would you use a fitness renaissance there? But
I know, big word.
Too big a word for me, that, I can hardly say it. I think you're right. I think, I'm not sure what's driven it, but there's been a huge shift. Gyms like this, run clubs made a resurgence out of, I don't know, marketing, I guess, probably from somewhere on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what the catalyst was, but it's, and we've seen that with the membership. The average age, we've actually still got a nice balance in here, but a lot more young professionals generally that are looking to just be more dialed in than I certainly ever was at 20. Do you know what I mean? I think the desire to be fit, healthy, look good, feel good, go out. People are, coffee shops are massive. Stuff like that. It just wasn't a thing. Even 10 years ago, I wouldn't say it was as big a thing, and it's really exciting for Glasgow to see. Certainly for me to see Glasgow, I'm not from Glasgow originally, but I've been living here for 20 years, and to out running this morning, everybody's out running or cycling or doing something, and it's a really exciting shift for Scotland in general. I mean, it's different for you Aussies, where you've got the weather and everybody's want to be, and it does make a difference. Absolutely. You know that, you've lived here long enough.
No, absolutely. I see it as well. Like you see, particularly between between 18 and 35. I feel like people are. You see it in this. They're talking about it all the time. Pubs shutting down and all this. People are just drinking less, and people are just a little bit more.
Sad day, man.
Switched off. We'll make up for it. But it's in general, people are just focusing more on their health and fitness, and they need places like this to come and train. So.
Definitely.
It's like a new community. People used to find community in the pub, drinking beers. Like in the 90s, for example, that was the cultural.
Well, a mate of mine had a really, really busy pub, and talking to him about it, he said that Christ, even 10 years ago, there was started to be a shift towards whereas on a Monday, Tuesday night, there'd be pub quizzes and everybody in there, and you'd meet in the pub and everybody'd have a drink each night after work at the offices, and he said it's shifted massively.
Well, you see it
which
now,
is great for us,
but
not so good for the licensed trade industry, you know?
No, for sure. Well, places like this are becoming community hubs, really, at the end of the day.
Same movement pattern. So what you're trying to do is strength, speed, and develop power. So you get your heavy bench press, which is that elbow extension, pressing position, and that is exactly the same. But because it's light and fast, you're working on that velocity-based work rather than the heavy stuff. So it's just, you want to pair up movement patterns and then give the different stimulus from each one, but both working at 100% but in very different areas.
Also, you want to show, but you also need to go, you know what I mean? Show and go. You can't just be all show and no go, or all go and no show. You got to have both.
You need to be able to shift.
That's it. You wouldn't think I haven't benched for like 12 months, would you, Dan? Yeah? Would you? That mic on? Fucking better be. Just off camera, Ross and I were talking about fitting out the gym, and you were saying that you went through the whole process, everything, and then all of a sudden it was like, yep, $7.5 grand to set the thing up, and I was like, fuck it, like, that's the sort of thing you don't understand. Like,
6.5.
So what was it like setting up? So like you've set up. You set up the old place. When you set that up, that was very much more of a putting things together type thing.
It was more of an evolution of the product. And you're like, right, okay, that'll work. And you end up, because we bought a facility from somebody that was just a space, and then we're like, right, we added to it. So yeah.
Maybe, Dan, you can put in, you'll have some footage of the old gym, won't you? He's shaking his head. Never mind. We'll cut to a video of Roscoe dancing.
You got to take one to this thing.
Right. We'll cut that in. Good. Well danced. Well danced. But now you've set up a new facility. How did that go through the whole process of? Because this is something that every gym owner at some point has to go through. Is like, how'd you find the place? What was that process like? How'd you go about like getting the kit supply, figuring out exactly what you needed, figuring out like what your product was, and then how'd you go about actually getting it sorted to where we are standing now?
Yeah, I mean, the key was I was very clear in the product I wanted to deliver, so that guided the space I wanted to have, but actually finding the space is a different thing altogether. I looked at this, it fell through, I had a couple other spaces that were kind of having to work with because the lease in the other place was coming to an end, so I was all just trying to tie it together. Luckily this came back up. And once we actually got the space, the process was it's just a lot of hidden costs you don't think about, and you're like, shit, just for that, for example, actually the fit out, putting the equipment in, you bought the equipment, you actually need to get it installed. And then you're like, right, okay, that's another cost, all your lawyers' costs, it's just things come up, and it's always just keeping in mind, right, you've got your budget, you need to have 20 grand over that to make sure. Just hidden costs that you really, it's more of an oversight probably on my part, but because you're doing all these things, you're trying to get things over the line. We were in a bit of a rush as well. So yeah, that was the big one, mate, definitely.
Yeah. So you'd recommend, it helps massively having a proper idea of exactly how your classes are going to run. Obviously it's a class-based gym, not everyone's class-based, but having an idea of exactly how it's going to run, the fact that we've got all the power racks here, that, right, we're going to need this amount, we're going to need this stuff for out the back in the conditioning area. did that help massively in terms of like structuring it, as opposed to almost just jumping on the website and being like, oh yeah, maybe get fucking two of them, and I'll get this much.
I was very, when I saw this space initially, I know exactly. I'm quite good at that, you know. I can see it and how it'll look. So that wasn't really. I was never sort of thinking, shit, how are we going to put this together? I knew exactly how it would sit from a kit point of view. There was a couple of wee changes, but as a basic blueprint, I knew what we were aiming for. And luckily this fitted the bill. But again, things change as well. You know, everything that evolves, the programming develops. We've added another class in there, but you want the ability to do that as well.
And do you think the space has dictated the programming slightly, or do you think the programming dictates the space? Because obviously, like, you know, if you're like, all right, I want to run big open gym CrossFit style workouts, for example, then you're going to need a big open space.
Yeah, definitely. I think what we're talking about, the old space, because I had an idea about sort of group fitness. I wanted to go, had the brand idea, and we brought it all together. But the product was we're putting a standard unit, like, right, okay, we want to do strength and conditioning, that's the core product. But then you want to put add-ons in there, and it really just, you're kind of trying to put it into the facility. So I had the benefit of having a number of years experience in another place. So when you're opening a new facility, you know exactly what you're looking for. You know, right, this is my product's tried and tested through thousands of hours and thousands of people. So you know, right, this is the area I need. It's different if you're first starting out. You're like, right, boom, let's get the first space we can and get going. So it depends where you are on the kind of journey, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, there's a big difference between starting with a handful of clients as a PT and a couple of grand in your pocket going, right, I'm going to start doing group training, or if you're like, you know what?
Well, that's the way I was, mate. And we end up with a space, SWG3, before it was anything like it is now, and it was a space that had holes in the windows. Like, I'm friends with one of the owners, and he sort of said that you can take a space upstairs, and there was loads of shit in it, and they pulled it all out, and there was holes in the windows and old graffiti, and it was actually really cool. But I had a couple of grand, put it into sleds and boxes and ropes and all that kind of stuff, and made that circuit that is now through there. And people loved it, and they come up and we had the tunes going. It was a great, and that's what kick-started it. But again, you're just doing it because, right, okay, any space will do, and then it all develops, doesn't it? And funding is a big one. You know what I mean?
That's it. Anything, if you start with a big chunk of funding, you either save money or you get money from someone or somehow, or take a loan or whatever, then obviously you can start kind of a couple of steps ahead. Yeah, I suppose it depends on the level that you want to
save your money, kids.
Start out there. Save your pennies. Don't drink beers. Don't drink beers, and you'll have more.
How do I feel about split squats? Fucking love them, mate.
Don't get pins like that. Yeah, split squat, mate. Fucking reckon he's born with it.
I do.
Definitely, especially the calves.
See my old man's. I saw my old man the other day, man. He's 77, his calves are still bigger than mine. He's still got the pelvis.
What do you think has been the biggest challenge in getting a gym to this capacity? And like you're a couple hundred members here. Things are doing really well. You're growing. You're expanding. You got there's 10 coaches now. Is there? Like, so things are going really well. And like, what would your advice be if you look back 5 years and you were like, right, maybe I'd change this, maybe I'd do this, maybe I would have done that. Is there anything that sticks out in particular to get to this point now?
What would I have done differently? I don't know, mate. I think I'm kind of a great believer of rolling with it and just enjoying it as you go. To be honest, probably a bit more planning on my end in the earlier stages might have set us up. Difficult though, because you know, it was after COVID that we were running well. We were over 200 members. Gym was buzzing, and that hit boom. We had to rebuild, so we'll get back towards the 300 mark now. But with that, because it was off the back of planning, you know, restarting, rethinking. Right, wait a minute, where are we going with this? We're trying to develop a brand with a clear goal in mind to cement ourselves in the group fitness market as a revolutionary approach to that. Does that answer your question? I'm forgetting.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, and then so like, how do you actually go about like, so you're like, right, we're growing, we're building, we're improving. Like, what does that actually look like from like a day-to-day point of view? Like, how much effort are you putting into marketing? Do you have people that help you with that? How much effort are you putting into onboarding? Yeah. How much do you look at the numbers and say, oh, we need to rate, you know, our churn rate's too high, we need to pull that in? And, you know, what does that look like for a successful gym?
That is very much where my work is now. I do the programming, I love doing that. I spend time on that, but the majority of my time is coaching the team, but they're all very dialed in. You know, there's 10 brilliant coaches, which has allowed me to step away and focus on the detail of growing the business. And on the flip side of that, I've got a brilliant team in that area, on the digital marketing, the content, and we discuss things daily on how we improve the marketing, how we improve the content, are we getting the right message across, the churn rate should be less, how do I improve the referral systems, how do we improve the retention. We're quite lucky that we've got a decent lifetime value from each member, but ultimately that is where my role has changed massively towards managing, growing and developing the product. But you can't, you have to go, that has to be the process. If you're aspiring to build a brand, you have to get the right team in place. You need to be able to trust them. And I could go away and for a week or two and I know the place will run perfectly, which is, to be honest, for me, one of the biggest successes of this. People in here enjoying it and it running on its own. And it's allowing me to take a step away. And it sounds, again, cliched, but you got to work on the business, not in the business all the time. But inevitably you have to do both for a period of time until you get the right people on board, people you can trust and people that are passionate and believe in the same ethos as you. They buy into it, and I've been very lucky in that respect.
Yeah, and I'd say, like, off the back of that, it's probably, I don't know, being in business as well, it's kind of one of those ones where you need to take the plunge on things sometimes. Like, I imagine the first time that you threw someone a class and was like, right, just do it. I won't even be here. I won't even think about it. I'm sure the whole time that class was happening, you're thinking, like, shit, are they doing it right? Is this happening? Is that happening? But you've got to let go eventually.
And you've got to do the right onboarding process with your staff. That's a couple of months process, 2-3 months for us now. And by the time the guys are on their own, they know exactly what they're doing. They've trained here for 3 months, they've experienced how different coaches do it. We've been through the detail of the programming. They know the members because they've been in training. They've been at the meetings that we do every 3 weeks, the development stuff, and they are ready to go, and the members know them. So you learn that as well, because I didn't do that initially. You're kind of like, this guy knows what he's doing. Yeah. Here's the session, and stupidly, but again, you just learn. Yeah. That's how it evolved, though.
I think that's one thing that you do really well is, so like, I'm privy to how you onboard people, but like the way that it works is someone normally gets in touch with you going, oh, like, I'd be keen to coach, or you're looking for someone, and it happens quite organically. Like, I think it happens for most gyms, really. Yeah. But I think one thing you do really well is you just say, right, come in, you have a chat with them, and then you say, right, just jump in, become a member. Like, jump in, join in the classes. Generally, it's someone that's...
Get a feel for somebody like that as well.
Exactly, and generally it's someone that's already PTing, like they've got the flexibility to be like, yep, okay, cool.
And they can interact with people, straight away. If people are awkward, you want somebody that's got a bit about them, that is happy to talk, introduce themselves, and just small things that you pick up on really quickly.
Yeah, for sure. And then you're right, like, once they've done a month of joining in the classes themselves, you're right, they get a feel for the place, they understand it, they understand how the programming works, how it should be delivered, because they've been seeing different
standards of the facility and the standards that we all set is so important, just from how we tidy things to, you know, how everyone's delivered and how we treat people as soon as they walk through the door, or greet people, I should say, as soon as they walk through the door, touch points with every member, every single class, you know, so and that takes a wee bit of time if they're not used to that style. But again, generally it happens quite organically, you know, like attracts like, doesn't it? And you get people that are like that, you know, they want to, they care, they're passionate, and it comes as second nature.
No, it's all, I think that's something really important, and that's something that people can really take away is, you know, you see this facility that's like, oh geez, they're doing really well, but it is a whole process of stepping stones of try this, that doesn't work,
and
try
it's
that.
24/7. You don't, and you got, that's, you know, and I love it, and you've got to, anybody with their own business will say that, but or tell you that, but it's, you don't switch off from it, and that's, again, that's the beauty of it too. You're always thinking and trying to develop, and that comes with the stresses, obviously, because not everyone's rosy. You know what I mean? It's not a linear process, but yeah, it is. It's a constant that everybody run their own business.
Absolutely.
Testament to that.
He's the biggest distraction.
Aye. Yeah, big numpty, you. Eh?
Make sure you pixelate his cock.
Got a pint of Guinness, MD? Fancy it? Eh?
Yeah, I've got to go do a hill refix.
Okay. You what? Fancy one?
But maybe one. Right, final question, Roscoe, and then I'll let you get that pint of Guinness. Final question here, Roscoe.
Friday, mate.
That's it. Final question here, Roscoe. If what's one thing that you'd want people to know about Fly that they wouldn't already know?
I mean, I guess the biggest misconception is we're a CrossFit gym, and we're not. We're a group strength and conditioning facility. That's what we specialise in, and we believe that's the future of group fitness and the model we're providing. So to answer your question again, is just misconceptions about people seem to think this style of training is either high rocks or CrossFit, and my background is strength and conditioning and having a balanced program so you can do any of these things, you know. Aye, we're different because our format is different. We do 9-week cycles. You've sampled one of the perform block that comes at the end of our 9-week cycle, so it culminates in that style of training. But yeah, that's what I find differentiates us. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah, 100%. By having structure to your program, also is going to encourage people to stay consistent with it as well. So like if someone comes in and a new member comes in and you're like, oh, perfect timing, you're starting in week 2 of our build program, they're going to go, oh, great, okay, cool. And they're going to build and progress with it and then see the cycle out and watch themselves improve.
Yeah, and you need progressive overload in a consistent manner to progress towards any goal. But you also need to, adherence is the biggest thing. Because it doesn't matter what your programming's like, if people don't want to do it or they're not sticking it out, then it doesn't work. Ultimately, so the best program is the one that people keep doing. And that's why we landed on a 3-week cycle, to just shift the focus every 3 weeks, to keep challenging people, but ultimately with the same goal, to get stronger and fitter and more powerful.
I really liked the variation in that session. So the thing that I liked about that was like, yeah, it's all push movements, but like because you were in that power block, it was like you're lifting heavy, you're doing like, you know, some classic movements like bench press and stuff like that. But it is interesting because you're throwing balls around, you're jumping, you're doing stuff, as opposed to other formats where you might be warming up to snatch for 35 minutes. Personally, for me, I don't like doing that because it's just, you know, 35 minutes to warm up for a heavy snatch. No thanks. I prefer to do that sort of training where it's like, yep, bang, we're doing this, we're doing that, change it up. That's what I like, keeps me engaged.
And it's a good point to me, and I guess everybody's different, and that's the beauty of it. But we want to maximise with the time you get in 1 hour. That's why everything's done on the clock. You know, you see, you know, EMOMs, it's not necessarily need to be on the minute, it's just a time domain, so we keep everybody right, keeps the coaches right. The clock's running, you know, every 2.5 minutes, every 3.5 minutes, but the rest period is factored into that time. But when everybody knows that on the 2.5 minute mark they're going again, so get your work done, get the necessary rest in. So that I've found over the years, creating that, you can get a lot out of your hour, but without doing too much and trying to, you try and get too much out of your hour, it doesn't work. You can't lift as heavy as you want to, it doesn't, the structure of it doesn't sit. So using the clock and being efficient and effective with the time is what we're all about.
Yeah, yeah. Love it. Yeah, buddy. Well done. This banana bread, fucking great.